In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to save you years of frustration. I'm going to show you there is no one secret technique to chip or pitch better. I've seen great players chip 100 different ways, and the difference isn't technique, it's how skilled they are at making it work. Let me take you on a short journey, go through some of the different techniques, and explain why you can do any of them and be successful. Stop chasing the secret, chase skill. The problem with all got as golfers is we're always chasing the next thing that's going to make your problems go away or help you hit the ball closer than you have before. And that's in and of itself part of the problem. It's the constant change. I'm going to stand here and go through some methods like maybe hinge and hold. I'm pretty sure we can make that work. Another week you might go super shallow, so really wide. The next week, maybe it's getting steeper. Maybe we're moving forwards, hitting the lower shots. And then the next week, maybe it's release 1, 2, or 3. And as you can see, they were all struck okay. First one went in, didn't even see it. We got a couple of balls at 6 feet and one about 10 feet short because it was low into the hill. But they were all struck well. And ultimately, it doesn't matter which technique you choose, you'll be consistently looking for the next thing that's a secret to make you a great chipper. There are a few really key skill components that I see that separate the really good players from the really poor, in addition to the fact they've stuck with a methodology and had thousands of reps at that methodology to get really good. They have control over key points that people just don't practice. Let's take a look at these key components of skill. The first one being control over the club head, where it bottoms out, front to back, and also how deep underground that club is heading. Good, skillful players have control over that, and that's what allows me to stand there and hit 4 balls in completely different ways and strike them all pretty well. So your ability to control how the club touches the ground and where the club touches the ground is key skill number 1, and it's why you can swing it in pretty much any way. That was wide, and get a result. We can go narrow, much more wristy. Think Shane Lowry, just not as good. And you just hear that clippy, crisp sound. That's not the technique doing that. That's my skill making the technique work. The next skill is controlling loft. So the loft dynamically delivered at impact, not address what is on there at impact with the golf ball. So your ability to control how the shaft is leaning, how maybe open or close the face is, both contribute to the dynamic loft you deliver at impact. So the next skill, dynamic loft. So my ability to change loft, not just through setup alone, but through movement, is going to be key to me controlling the ball. That was sick. And the third skill is going to be speed and touch. So how fast you move the club, the amount of energy you transfer to the golf ball to get the ball to go the correct speed to go the distance you need to. So this all ties into the 3 pillars we use in WedgeMatrix Academy, which is strike, trajectory, and touch. So club speed. Now I have to try and tie together the loft I'm delivering with the speed of the club head to get the ball to move at the speed I need it to. So going a little bit lower here, and I'll need less speed to get the ball to target. Accidental hole out. Let's go again. We're going to go a bit lower, try and miss that hole this time. So we'll stay low, less speed in the club head to get the ball to go to target. If I start to throw that up a little bit higher, my speed in the club is going to increase because my ball speed is going to drop. So I need to learn to tie the speed of club to speed of ball. And obviously that needed a bigger swing, producing more club speed to get the ball to go somewhere near target. Now I've shown you through 3 fundamental skills, let's give you a drill for each of them to try and get a little bit better without getting into technique. So the first one's a tee drill. It's a slight variation on what I normally do. We're going to stick a tee in the ground so just the head is above. You can have a ball right next to it, and the goal here, or the task, is to try and clip the tee and barely touch the ground. If you're successful at doing that, step into the ball and try and bottom out with the same depth when the ball's there. So really simple, nice cheap training aid. You might have some in your bag, the T-drill. Next up we go with the loft drill. So the setup here is going to be identical for a stock shot rise. So ball wherever you normally have it, stance width, face angle, all the same. And the goal here is to hit different trajectories by changing your movement or your speed of release. So I've got a few balls here. We'll go in pretty normal for the first one. I'm going to add a bit of height to this. Movement only, no cheating in setup. There's a little bit more. And just note the slight sound differences in strike when you do change loft, effectively via shaft lean, your strike will change. And then we'll go in lower, same setup, I'm going to try and de-loft this and still strike it. That was nice. Nice, low, spinny. So you start to develop your ability ultimately to put different amounts of shaft lean on the club at impact. Now for some players it might be different rotations of the face. Like you might feel like you have to hold it open to get loft, you might feel like you need to close it down to take loft off. There are no rules, this is skill building. And finally let's look at developing touch or control of speed. So I'm going to do a pretty stock shot, and the goal here is to land my first ball just on the green, and every consecutive ball after that I'm going to try and land a little bit further on. Okay, so that was a couple of feet on. I'll cover a little bit more. Barely. So the next one's going to need to be near that flag pitching distance. Better. So effectively I'm climbing a ladder on carry distances towards the hole. So that one was shorter than the previous ball. And as soon as I do that, I go right back to the beginning and start climbing the ladder once again. So there are three really simple drills to develop the skills that actually matter. So to summarize, if you consistently change your technique and your ideas about technique, you're effectively resetting learning. And that's going to set you back so far you'll never ever reach the automatic stage, when you can just walk up to the ball and be comfortable, confident, knowing the strike's going to be there, knowing the trajectory is going to be good, and knowing your touch is going to be absolutely fine. You'll never reach that automated stage if you're consistently starting from square one. And of course, we live in the age of social media, so there are quick tips being fired at you left, right and centre, and the only filter is you. If you can't filter out what's good and bad and what actually matters to you and might make a difference to you, you're in a whole world of trouble. I'm fortunate enough to work with some of the world's best golfers, and the last thing you see them do is consistently reset over and over again from a technical standpoint. They tend to stay with the same thing they know. There might be small adjustments, there might be refinements, but they're never going all the way back to the beginning. It's time to stop chasing secrets, choose one approach, and train the skill to support that deliberately, carefully, and diligently. If you want a framework to build that skill, the WedgeMatrix Academy has everything you need to start that process. There is no secret short game technique, only the one you master.